Hey everybody, welcome back finally to X-Plane 11 and back in the Beechcraft November 4527 Tango. So this is the first video that I have uploaded in a while. Uploaded, not recorded. Um, the screen capture software that I use, OBS, has crashed 4 times after basically hour-long flights. So if you're watching this, that means that it finally worked. Let's just check. Yep, it looks like it's still going. So very frustrating, but I just wanted to get a video up because I've been extremely busy, which I'll get into in a minute here, but I wanted to do a quick little flight. So going to do a little airport hopping. And oh yeah, we are in Fullerton. This is the Fullerton Municipal Airport. Kilo Foxtrot Uniform Lima. It's just kind of right off I-5 in Fullerton, so I like to use this airport because it's pretty centrally located, and turns out this is where I might be doing some flight training. So time to get the Beechcraft started, and then once we're started in taxiing, I'll fill you in on some of the busyness happening lately. Let's get the batteries on. I'm not going to do a full checklist. I'm just going to get the thing started. So let's get that up, get the throttle up a little bit, do the fuel pump deal, which isn't animated, but I'm going to do it anyway. And alternator. Let's get it started. Life. All right. Manifold pressure is good. Oil pressure is in the green. Oil temp is coming up. Exhaust gas temperature is coming up as well. Let's get the avionic master on. Comes to life. Okay, so let's get the ATIS real quick for Fullerton, and that is 12505, which might actually be on one of these. 12505, yep, it is. It is on. Get out of here. It is on radio 2. Let's get that on. Fullerton Municipal 3001. So 3001. Oh, it's already set to that. I wonder if that carries over from different planes. It must. I did a flight here last night a little bit, which I actually did record, but it didn't work. Okay, so you're good. Let's lean this sucker out for taxi. Whoa, too much. Why am I not turning this on? Not that I need it other around. Okay, I don't really need that on, but I like to have everything on. Okay, so we've got flaps up, trim 0, gear set. I think we need the taxi, beacon. It looks like everything. Okay, so I'm going to do a short flight to the west, and we're going to stay under all of the Class Bravo and Class Charlie airspace, which the Class Charlie will be entering is going to be Ontario, and that has a floor of 2,700 feet. The Class Bravo, which is LAX area, and I guess Long Beach too, we're going to be well under that, heading to the east, which is a floor of 6,000. So we'll be well within that. And let's go taxi to our runway, do a little run up. Yeah, so it's been crazy frustrating, the flights that I've done with OBS crashing. So what happens is I've got a little macro on the keyboard, so when I've got the simulator going, I just hit record, and then I go into the simulator, do the flight, and when it's over, I click the macro again, it cancels the recording, and I upload that file. So pretty straightforward. But it's been crashing at various points, and I think it's probably just due to overtaxing the CPU, is my guess. It's the current version, so I don't think that is the problem. But it's super frustrating because it doesn't notify me during the flight that the recorder has stopped. So, you know, if I even wanted to stop in the middle and re-record so I don't do the entire flight, it doesn't give me that opportunity, and I don't want to keep, like, you know, checking to see if it's still running, because that just, I mean, I'd have to do that every time, which is really stupid. So I only have one monitor as well, so I don't have like the second monitor set up with the screen capture on that monitor. So that is one of the reasons why I have not uploaded a video in a while. Okay, so let's do the little Coronado shimmy there. Okay, so let's go max mixture. Let's get into the... Again, I'm not going to do the mags because it sucks on this. Let's get to 2,000 RPMs. There we go. I don't know why that was so difficult. That's the prop. Doesn't really... Oh, I guess it does. If I look over at the digital one, it does drop it a little bit. But not as much as I would have thought. Okay, so oil temp is good, fuel or oil pressure is good, and exhaust gas temp is fine. Fuel flow good. Everything looks nice. Okay. So our first stop is going to be Corona, and that's a untowered little airport that I didn't know existed. Let's get some flaps in there. We got pretty substantial crosswind here. So get a little bit of that crosswind component in. It's not too bad. Whoa, there it kind of goes. There we go. Rotate a little bit early, but that was... could have done that better. So the other reason, as we climb out here, and I just realized that in my haste to get out of here, I do not have the navigation lights on, so let's fix that problem. One of the main reasons, besides OBS crashing consistently, is my wife and I will be moving. We will be moving back to Orange County, actually. So right in... Nope, not this area. Right in this area over here, probably. Not sure yet. We haven't picked the place out, but there's actually a hospital over here that we might be moving close to. Somewhere right in here. Yeah, so that's very exciting, but also very stressful, and will, of course, oh, was trying to lean out for a cruise, and I went way too far. I have not flown this plane in a while. I was kind of looking at the exhaust gas temp and got a little too ahead of myself on that, so let's keep it a little bit richer than probably I was originally going for. But yeah, so super stressful. Obviously, moving is never fun. We'll at some point have to pack the computer up, so there'll be some downtime there for sure, but very exciting. We're currently in the Seattle area, which has some great airports and amazing scenery, so flying up here is very cool. Flying in Southern California, I have to imagine, which I have not done yet, but I have to imagine it's going to be probably pretty crazy given the just number of airspaces, and it's like most of it is class Bravo and we've got some class Charlie, but there's airports everywhere. Just looking at the charts for the area, it's insane. I have got it zoomed in from Riverside to LAX, and I mean it's like 20 airports. There's so many that there are airports in areas that I didn't even know an airport existed. So right now we're flying over Yorba Linda right now. So Nixon's house is somewhere over here. So we're over Yorba Linda. This is Orange, the city of Orange, not to be confused with Orange County. And this freeway right here is the 91. And I've seen a number of like worst traffic jam lists, and the 91 from basically Anaheim Hills, which is right here, to Corona, which is over here, has been rated the worst freeway commute in the world, or in the country. I don't know if it's the worst, but it is definitely bad. So we used to live kind of out here south, and my wife used to commute on the 91 to Anaheim every day, down and back. And I've done this drive countless times, millions of times. And the other day I was doing a flight from John Wayne to Palm Springs. It actually ended up being kind of long because you have to route around some mountain ranges. So it took a little bit longer than I thought, and it was about a 40-minute flight, but it took longer. Obviously, it was a King Air, so I went through checklists. Again, another thing that I was trying to record that ended up not recording. And I was flying over basically the 91 to catch the 60 freeway, which is just south of Ontario Airport, to get to Palm Springs. And I looked down right over this area, and I noticed that there was an airport. I don't know if we're going to be able to see. Yeah, it's right here. There's an airport right there, right off. I guess it's really not right off, but close to the 91 that I had never seen before. I never knew that there was an airport right there. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then I looked a little bit to the north, and I saw this huge thing. And I had no idea what this airport was. So I looked that up. That's Chino. So I went to college at Cal Poly Pomona, which is right up here, and drive down the 71 all the time, and never knew that that airport was there. So I looked into both of those airports, the Corona one, which I'm going to do a touch and go at here. It's an uncontrolled runway, but it doesn't look that inviting. It's just got a bunch of hangars, and it's kind of in the back of an industrial estate type area. So it's not that cool. There's no cafe or anything. But the Chino airport, which is the bigger multi-runway one over here, that's got a really highly rated cafe, which I love going to airports and having club sandwich is one of my favorite things. And it's got a museum and a bunch of cool stuff. So I'm very excited to check that airport out. To lesser degree, this Corona one doesn't look too fun, but it might be cool to check out. And it is uncontrolled, so I'm going to do a flyover and see if I can check the wind. This little valley that the 91 cuts through is a funnel for wind. So when there's like a temperature discrepancy from kind of the more deserty area over here and Orange County, which tends to be cooler with the ocean breeze coming off, kind of funnels through that little valley. So I can imagine that the wind here at this airport is pretty unpredictable and can probably get pretty quick. So see if I can spot the windsock here at all. Looks nice with that ortho scenery. Yeah, I don't see. All right, well maybe I'll just use the same direction as we left Fullerton at. So just make this a left approach. What is the runway heading here? What do we got? Runway 07. All right, so we'll land at runway 07. I'm sure if I was on Unicom, someone might be able to update you. I don't know really how that works on a Unicom if you don't have sight of the windsock. If you can, I mean, obviously someone's got to be there. Oh, there it is. Yep. No, I am landing on runway 25. That is in the opposite direction. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Just do some S's over this little community in Corona. All right, so we'll make this a right approach. Runway 25. So Corona traffic. Beechcraft 4527 Tango on right base, I think. So in one of the videos that I recorded that didn't save, I was talking about the air traffic control stuff, and particularly which two plugins I'm looking at getting. The two main ones, if you're not aware, VATSIM and Pilot Edge. VATSIM is free, but it tends to favor European airports, which I don't plan on landing. Oh, did I have landing on? Which I don't plan on doing a lot of. Get the gear down here. Flying in Europe, so I'm going to look into that just because it's free, so I can get into that without too much issue. Pilot Edge is focused on Southern California, which will be helpful because that's where I'll likely be actually flying. But I am pretty excited I'm anxious to start doing that because I feel like I'm getting good enough with the actual flying portion, navigating, that adding the component of the radio communications will help get me that much better for the actual flying, because ideally I want to be as confident as possible going into the actual flight training, and that is probably the biggest hang up I have heard with new pilots. I know that's where a lot of my anxiety comes from, is what do I say, how do I say it, and when do I say it? And what better way to learn that kind of stuff than in a simulator? And especially a simulator that just happens to be based off the area that I'll be doing the flying. So looking forward to that. I'm still kind of apprehensive, and I want to get this move out of the way. Get the power, bring the nose down, flaps up, full power. Make sure mixture's all the way lean, which I think it is. Or not lean, rich. And up. Gear up. That was good. Let's check it out real quick. Hopefully this doesn't crash the OBS, which if you're watching this, it hasn't. Okay. Okay, full flaps, gear down, coming in at a little bit of an angle, but that's okay. There's a little bit of a crosswind, so I was kind of flying into the crosswind. So pitch for speed, throttle for altitude, I think is the saying. I took it a little steep, but I kind of salvaged it at the end, I think. Floated it a little bit. Nose down. Yeah. It was actually pretty smooth. Very smooth, actually. Okay, so now we've got to do some quick action, because the Chino airport is not, or is controlled. It is not controlled. So I'm going to open up that and get the ATIS, which is not too far from Fullerton. It is 12585. So let's see what the deal is there. Chino information. Oh, the altimeter has changed a little bit. 03. Arriving runways 26 left and 26 right. Alright, so 26 left and 26 right. Okay, so 26 left is the long one, 26 right is the short one. Now let's get visual of that dude. I'll shut you up. Okay, so I'm gonna go 26 right because it's a shorter one. Okay, we're going right over top of it. Good. Okay, so I'm gonna cross the runway and then loop back around. Yep, I betcha. Go away. Go. Huge complex, and to my knowledge, there's not any commuter traffic. I don't think there's just like a lot of really cool old planes that fly in and out here. So we'll cross the runway, loop around, and I am going to shut it off at this airport. Definitely not what you think of when you think of Southern California. This is technically Riverside County, I think, but there's a lot of farmland around here. Let's see if we'll be able to see any of the textures that show the cool planes on the ground. No, it's all 3D. Okay, so we are going to slow down to, how high am I? I think I ballooned up a little bit. Okay, let's And we're going to go 26 right. Okay, so I would call... I'm just going to just talk out loud. I know it's going to... Or I shouldn't... All talking is out loud. I'm going to think out loud. So I'm going to call up the tower, which I would dial that in, obviously, and... Chino Tower, Beechcraft 4527 Tango on right downwind, requesting landing runway 26 right with information. I forgot to check what that was, so I'm gonna. Every time I fly, even if it's just goofing around, I have been trying to talk to myself just to get in the habit as best I can. You know, mimicking the radio stuff. It's really hard to do, and it's goofy, especially when there are other people in the room and they ask who you're talking to. And I have to say nobody. Okay, so we're full flaps, gear down. Again, coming in at somewhat of an angle. But this is like a huge compound. These are all hangars and restaurants somewhere over here. There's the museum. Pretty excited to check that out. Oh, weather freak out mode. 85 knots. I think we're full lean. Oh, we got some pappy lights. Does it feel like it wants me to go really shallow? There we go. Still coming in at a weird angle. I don't know why I did that in both runways. Get some rudder to take it out of it. Cut the power, get the nose up. This is going to be a terrible landing. Jeez. Am I going to make this turn off? No. I really got to work on the brakes on this. I think I have them set to moderate, and I think moderate is different for each plane, which is why it's... Some of them it's like too much, and other ones like this one it's not enough. If I had rudder pedals, which I really do need to get, it would be a non-issue, but the one button brake is probably not the preferred method. All right. Call up ground, get clearance to wherever the restaurant is that we've heard so much about. That hiccup. That little stutter. If you're watching this, it obviously wasn't OBS crashing, but that makes me wonder if it did crash. And if it did crash, I am talking to myself. And if it didn't, I am talking to you guys, wondering if I'm talking to myself, which is equally as stupid. So I'm just going to carry on as if nothing's different. Alright, so there is Fullerton and Corona and Chino. So three airports that I do look forward to checking out in real life very soon. And thank you guys again for all the likes, all the subscriptions, all the comments. It's super fun to make these videos, and it makes it even more fun getting the feedback on which videos you guys enjoy watching. All of the help, of course. I get a lot of comments and messages about things that I'm doing wrong. I more than welcome that kind of feedback because I'm doing this to learn, and it just is fun to record and be able to share it with people that are interested in watching. So thank you everybody for watching, and hopefully I'll be able to do a few more of these before I move, and then continue once I'm moved. All right, guys, take care.